Morning, welcome to day 4 of the Rob Roy Way here on the south side of Loch Tay, and I was hoping this morning for some lovely views down onto Loch Tay itself in the morning sunshine, but it's all foggy and misty. This is the view. Oh well, you can't have everything, can you? So let's get on with it then. The sun's out, it's trying to burst through, and it will eventually. It's going to burn off all the mist and turn into actually quite a bright, warm day. Well, I mentioned that I'm not wild camping on this trip. I'm using accommodation and shuttling my car backwards and forwards each day and using public transport. That's a personal choice, but this is the section of the trail where that becomes quite difficult because there's hardly any accommodation along this south shore of the loch, and what there is expensive or fully booked for weeks in advance. So if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, it makes it very difficult. Starting to clear up now. So it means I'm going to have to miss out a section of the centre stretch along Loch Tay, about 6 miles unfortunately. Although that is the section that I've seen people complain about because there's a lot of road walking and the view is, although nice, is quite similar all the way along. So, you know, you take your choice, don't you, with these things, and I'm having a pretty good trail all told so far, so shouldn't be too disheartened about it. And so you might be thinking, well, why not just wild camp, Justin? You know, you've done it before. Carry your tent, what are you moaning about? Yeah, I've thought of that to myself as well, you know. There's a car coming, hang on. I thought back to previous hikes that I've done and when I've wild camped, and I found in the last 3 long distance hikes I've really hammered on with the miles, you know, and I ended up doing more than 20 miles 2 or 3 days on the trot on each occasion, and ended up being totally whacked, and by the end of the hike I was shattered. I'd enjoyed it, but I was shattered, and I thought, why am I doing this? Why am I racing? It's not a race, you know. Lovely cottage that. And if you've seen some of my videos, you'll have seen those days and wondered, what the hell am I keeping walking so long for? Well, that's the reason, because I didn't really like spending time in the tent. It was uncomfortable. I didn't get any decent sleep. I couldn't rest against anything. There was nowhere to sit. I had to eat off the floor, not literally, you understand, but you know. And all of that meant I woke up really tired and not refreshed. There's a standing stone here. Just to give you some idea of scale, I would say that's about 2.5 meters tall. It doesn't look very big on camera, but it is. This time I thought I'd go back to how I started doing multi-day through hikes, and that's by using youth hostels and B&Bs and pub rooms and stuff, and just go from site to site and recover and rest and have slightly shorter days and take my time, you know, enjoy it. Oh yes, beautiful. So sorry to go on for so long. What that means is I've done 2 miles in the opposite direction this morning to the start point, or my start point this morning, and I'm going to go back down the same road, the same distance to Akan, and then carry on the trail from there to Aberfeldy, which is another 10. So all in all, about 15 miles today, and that seems about right. I've reached Akan, another lovely cottage, and here the trail turns right to go up and see what I think is a waterfall. Whew, that was the steepest bit of the trail, I can confirm that, up from the road. So yes please, I'll have a little mini break and go in the hermit's cave. Oh, it is pretty big. I've seen it on other people's videos, but it's not exactly the torrent that I've seen on others, because we haven't had much rain recently, but it's still very pleasant. It's very relaxing actually. A word about this hermit mind. Hasn't got much curb appeal from the front, but he's made a nice job of this back patio, hasn't he? And what a view. Now we're following the Queen's Drive. This way.
A rifle and set me on the trail, high on the hillside, the early sunshine pain, rising over Maiden and reflecting on Fremore, high on the hillside, all the royal rivals roar. Show me a hard evening land below me, Loch Maree, lead me to my solitude and let me wander free, to climb the rocky mountains and to search the glen below for a fine 10-pointer or a royal. Below me, Loch Maree, lead me to my solitude and let me wander free, to climb the rocky mountains and to search the glen below for a fine 10-pointer or a royal. Show me a hardy land below me, Loch Maree, lead me to my solitude and let me wander free, to climb the rocky mountains and to search the glen below for a fine 10-pointer or a royal.
Oof, it's hot today, the hottest day on trail. It's going to reach 22 Celsius today, which for September, Scotland is pretty warm. Right, I've got the next review for you. Naked bar. Raw fruit and nut bar. Cocoa and orange. I must admit, I've got low expectations for this one. It's the smallest one of the lot. It's one of those ones that feels rock hard, although it has been in my rucksack, so it's a bit softer than it probably should be. Right. Oh, dark. It's the dark log variety, you know. Oh, it's softer than I was expecting. Like I say, probably because of the sun. Only a little bit of cocoa. Nice bit of orange mixed in. Nothing too overpowering. Almost a bit like fudge. I like that. Flies. Oh, I was expecting a low score, but I've got to think hard about this. Oh, this one gets 7 out of 10. There's a diversion around the Bolfrax estate here. Quite hard going in the last couple of hours. In the forest, out the forest, flies. Just when you think you're going downhill towards the valley, it kicks and then goes back up steep again. Oh, and it's warm, it's taking its toll. Not far to go though, I think about 3 miles left. Aberfeldy, but the way continues up here to the top of some more waterfalls, I think. Well, there's a footbridge here and I can hear the sound of water. Let's hope there's a bit more than the last waterfall. That's better. Actually, very steep drop looking down. It always looks higher, doesn't it, when you're up on top compared to from below looking up. But anyway, the path makes its way around the other side, so I'm hoping for a look from the other side. Lots of steps down here. I hope it doesn't go back up again later on. This is an amazing place really. There's loads of different falls on both sides. And the staircases come down and twist and meander and the trees. It's wonderful. It's like a natural air conditioning system as well, with all the pouring water and the breeze coming through. It's fantastic. Well, I made it here to Aberfeldy, and you wouldn't believe it, but it's actually started raining. I didn't think it rained in Scotland. Anyway, talking of liquid and rain, I think I need some liquid myself, if you know what I mean, so let's try and find one. It's proper chucking it down here in Aberfeldy, but I don't care. Cheers! That's the end of day 4. See you tomorrow.